welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing well, and I hope you're all looking forward to the upcoming Christmas festivities with your friends, family, loved ones, acquaintances, people who you may be coming into association with during this Christmas holiday time. I hope you all have a fun and safe time. And today I thought, as a legally disabled autistic woman, I would talk about how autism, socialisation and Christmas holidays affect me. So let's get into it. As a legally disabled autistic adult, I thought I would talk about socialisation from my own perspective today. As someone on the autism spectrum, my Christmas Day period tends to be very, very busy and quite overwhelming because for the last few years since I was a little girl, I've had the most regular routine since my parents separated. So what happens to me is I spend Christmas Day lunch and Christmas Day late afternoon with my mum and my mum's family, and get to have a nice lovely dinner with her and spend time with her and her husband and other people. And then I get Christmas Day afternoon, evening and Boxing Day divided with my dad's family. So it can be quite overwhelming when you're not expecting to spend so much time with people and you're expected to go to different people's houses and have more food and drinks and socialising and eye contact and being around people who you may not know or and just come into recent contact with or meet on the actual day when you're going to that person's house. It can be quite strenuous and overwhelming and exhausting, not knowing what to do, not knowing what to say, not knowing where to sit, not knowing to expect what kind of food or drink may be on offer available at that selected person's house, or what they do for Christmas tradition. So for me, I'm quite lucky. My parents know for the most part what food I do and do not like. They know how to support me. They know what food to put on my plate and what food I am going to eat and what food I'm not likely to touch at all. So I don't have to really worry about the food aspect of things. But again, when I go to like my dad's side of the family, and they tend to use Christmas Day afternoon in the past as a party situation, so there'll be party food, party games, and sometimes then party games can involve either getting drunk or they'll involve like eating loads of garbage food, and so it can be quite overwhelming with being expected to be social for that long period of time when you expect to go from one person's house to another, to another, to another, to another, and you're expected to be social all the constant time. You're expected to give eye contact, you're expected to be socialising, you're expected to be dressing well, looking well, you're expected to take part in the Christmas Day traditions that are. And yes, I do enjoy it as an autistic person. Yes, I do. I do enjoy being social. I do enjoy being around my family. Yes, I do. I'm not going to deny it. I love being social. I love being in the social party scene. I love having time with my friends, family during the Christmas holidays. I think it's just an amazing time to reconnect with family and with friends who you've not really associated with, and start the new year with a new fresh attitude and a fresh outlook on life, how you see things. And for me, I've always had that routine of going from my mum's to my dad's house and to see my dad's family and my sister, etc. And that's the way that I've always liked it, because it's given me the structure, the routine of what's expected and what I'm expected to do, how I'm expected to look, how I'm expected to act, because all my family know who I am and they adapt to my needs and they adapt to how I need time out, or I may need to disappear and have a few quiet moments with someone to talk to, or I may just go into a different room on my own and spend time just to watch TV or stimulate myself from all the social conversation I've had to have during that day, or Christmas Eve or Boxing Day. Because again, Christmas Day is not just that one day event. There's Christmas Eve, there's Boxing Day, and then you're expected to be social yet again. You're expected to be in people's houses. You're expected to be social. You're expected to be polite. You're expected to be constantly communicating. And, it is exhausting, because if you're not used to being away from home as someone with autism or disability, and then all of a sudden you're going from your normal, settled, everyday routine to all of a sudden you're out of the house, you're having to travel, whether that's in the car, in the train, in the aeroplane, you're expected to you're adapting to it. You're expected to be, okay, well, this is what we've got to do and why. And it may throw the autistic person off or disabled person off, because they're like, oh, well, I was used to having my routine and my structure and being safe, and now I have to go out of my safety zone, out of my comfort zone, to another person's house, another country, another town, another state, another county, and they're having to be stuck there for a certain day, certain days, or a week, or the whole 2 weeks in the UK Christmas holidays. So again, it can be very overwhelming and anxiety provoking for them. because if you're not used to being travelling, or you're not used to being outside of your own house and your own comfort, it can be quite anxiety provoking, thinking, oh no, I've got to eat that person's food, drink that person's drinks, I've got to be at this person's house or in a hotel, I don't know where I'm at, I don't know why I'm going to be staying here, I don't know what's expected of me, and then it leads to over-sensory processing and sensory burnout and all depression, that kind of stuff. So again, make sure if you are taking an autistic person out or a disabled person out during the Christmas holidays, you adapt to their needs, you adapt to their environment, because they are going to be really struggling to communicate. And like you can see for me, I'm obviously autistic, like I struggle with my eye contact. So when you're around people with autism or disabilities who may struggle to communicate or struggle to look at you, or may struggle to eat, or may struggle to drink because they're not sure if they're going to like it, or if it's the smell that's targeting them, or if it's just too much colour or too much food on their plates, they may become very overstimulated and withdraw away from the situation of the day. They may just shut themselves away with bringing their own headphones, their own music, their own books, their own bedding from home. If they're staying away from home, they might want to bring their own duvet, their own quilt, their own blankets, their own pillows, their own slippers. Also, comfortable clothing is another one. If you are going to be someone who is staying away from home and you're not used to having to wear new Christmas outfits, like if you're being brought an outfit for Christmas, or you're given clothing as part of your presents, you may not want to wear it because it may be itchy, scratchy, smelly, it may irritate your skin. So again, don't be insulted if your autistic loved one or your disabled loved one, friend, family, work colleague does not take too kindly to wearing it. Also, like if your autistic loved one or disabled loved one may not wear aftershave, cologne, perfume, don't be offended. It's because it's a too high scented smell and it overstimulates them and will shut them down and make them withdraw even further. So just be careful about buying gifts like that, because you know it can cause increased anxiety. And during this time also, we need to take into account that many autistic people and disabled people may not have family and friends to go to, because during the Christmas holidays, unfortunately, a lot of people do end up passing away of old age, or they have people who end up passing away of illnesses, and it can be a really overstimulating time with grief and depression and anxiety due to the pain and the loss that they have experienced. Like for me, my grandma would have been gone 4 years tomorrow, so for me, I'm really feeling really quite sad and down and like, ugh, because I know tomorrow will be a really hard day for me to get my head round, and thinking, yes, I know it's been 4 years since she's been gone, but it's still that grief, it's still that, oh, what happens now? Because my grandma was a big part of my Christmas routine. I used to go around to her every Boxing Day to have a meal with her, her husband and my family, and spend time unwrapping presents that she had brought the grandchildren, including myself. And now that routine is no longer, so you know that has taken a big part of my structure and my routine away from me. And now it's like, oh, what do we do now? Because you know I'm having to be at my dad's or my sister's instead, or I'm having to go to my cousin's house or my aunt's house. And it's like, oh, what happens now? Because this wasn't usual before. Like, we would go to my grandma's and be there all day until early evening. And now it's like, oh, she's now no longer here. And we have to think of other plans and adapt to the situation. Whereas for people like me with autism, we don't adapt to change very well. We don't adapt to having our loss of routine. So again, it can be very, very overstimulating and very anxiety provoking. So don't expect us to be all woohoo during Christmas, because it may not be a woohoo time for us, because it's hard with communication, the forced eye contact, the body language that we don't understand, the humour, the sarcasm, the jokes. And you know, it can be very, very draining, daunting, exhausting. And make sure your autistic loved ones or disabled loved ones have a place to go away from the social scene if they need that downtime to de-stimulate and get their anxiety down. So here is some tips, tricks, advice that I can talk to you about and what I'm going to give to you. So for your autistic loved one, take their favourite music or books with them and headphones, comfortable bedding, pillows to remind them of home with their home scent on, their favourite clothing that makes them feel comfortable, less anxious, less irritating, favourite footwear that is comfortable, warm, safe for them to wear, sensory aids, fidget toys, things that help them to stimulate and relax and to lower their anxiety and any panic that they may be experiencing. A visual schedule take with you, because a visual schedule will help your autistic loved one, your disabled loved one, friends, family, work colleagues who may need to know exactly what's happening every day of that holiday, where they're going, why, a picture of the property, a picture of the dinner, a picture of the bathroom, the kitchen, the bedrooms, the basement, the lounge, the hallway, the porch, etc. Make sure you take all pictures like that so they know where they're going, why they're going to be there, and what's expected of them when they're there. De-stimulate the inside or outside of the environment if you can. So offer to have headphones, or offer to give them puzzles or books to read, or things that you know will de-stimulate them and make them come down from being heightened up here to also like they'll slowly come down and realise that they have somewhere they can do, something they can use to help themselves cope during the Christmas period. Remember to let them bring their own laptops or tablets or mobile phones, cell phones with their favourite games, apps, YouTube, internet on, because they'll need that to de-stimulate and to relax. Also, don't shout at them if they do withdraw or decide they don't want to be social, because Christmas is just an exhausting lot of forced eye contact, forced body language, forced communication that is not normal or natural to us. So I hope you've enjoyed hearing my perspective. Please like, comment, share and subscribe, and I will be back next time. Bye!